My presentation entitled "The Stalemate of Peace Negotiation: Status Ambiguity of Karabakh." As you know, status is a modern concept and equals sovereignty of the countries, of the modern states, nation states. So to understand the political transformation in terms of Karabakh, I think the status concept is key concept to explain the process that comes from the 20s in the early of 20th century. To make it more clarified, I think I try to make a historical background between the Armenian-Azerbaijan conflict. For this reason, I would like to start with Turkmenchay Treaty. Actually, there were other treaties, Kürekçay and Gülistan, but Turkmenchay Treaty was a decisive, which was signed in 1828 between the Russian Empire and Iran. And from that time, the colonial process started in the Caucasus. And it means that the nations of the Caucasus failed to define their sovereignty or maybe status over their national geography, and those colonial process lasted until 1917, when the Great Russian Revolution happened, and the nations of the Caucasus got an opportunity to declare their independence, the brief independence state period. But however, the institutionalization of the the status problem of Karabakh emerged in Soviet time. Yes, the colonial process started with the Russian Empire from 19th century, but the Soviet time, during the Soviet time, the main political status of Karabakh emerged in 19 and 20s. Concretely, the Nagorno-Karabakh political and administrative division that emerged in 19 and 23. But it means that these, including Azerbaijan, lost its political authority, sovereignty, and failed to define the status of Karabakh in that period. From within the the Soviet time, the Nagorno-Karabakh division served for Sovietization of the Caucasus, and from that time, and it lasted until at the end of the Cold War. But at the end of the 1980s, the republics of the nations of the Soviet Union got an opportunity again to get back their independence. Which when they got it in 1918 as in Azerbaijan, but those republics were incomplete states that lasted roughly 2 years, etc. But at the end of the Cold War, the situation changed globally, and the Soviet Empire dissolved, and emerged 15 republics, including Azerbaijan and Armenia. But unfortunately, because of the status problem that I mentioned before, the status of Karabakh, firstly defined by Soviet authority in 1923, and that's why it became, despite independence, a new problem in the South Caucasus. So Azerbaijan got an independence in the early 1990s, exactly 1991, but had to face invasion problem, because the first Karabakh war occurred. It was in the territory of Azerbaijan, and Azerbaijan temporarily lost the sovereignty over the Karabakh again, and it means that the status problem again continue again. And in 1994, both sides signed a ceasefire in Bishkek. And it lasted until 2020 for the Second Karabakh War. But from within that time, there were many initiatives for peace. But unfortunately, it didn't happen, and so it seems that yes, the Second Karabakh War was inevitable. The Second Karabakh War happened in it's called 44 Days War, or maybe Homeland War, the Azerbaijan officially defined it. Firstly, it ended the war in the invasion process. And both sides signed an agreement, actually declaration that they agreed to end the war and also end of the invasion. But and then started to negotiation to start the main problem, emerging problem, the status of Karabakh actually. The Armenian side, I think the main problematic issue maybe of the negotiation process is the status of Karabakh for the future. The Armenian side maybe should accept that the Karabakh, including the seven region, is recognized as the territory of Azerbaijan by the international law. In addition, Azerbaijan declared repeatedly that the Armenian population of Karabakh will be a citizen of Azerbaijan. So Azerbaijan is ready to guarantee the rights of Armenian population in Karabakh. And then Azerbaijan declared the Karabakh economic region. It means that the Nagorno-Karabakh status, the former status of Karabakh, Nagorno-Karabakh, won't come back. Why? Firstly, because the Soviet Union doesn't exist. The first reason, who founded it in 1923, and then Azerbaijan got back its ended the invasion in its territory, except the Russian peacekeeping forces, etc. But unfortunately, Armenian authorities failed to accept this new status of Karabakh, and looking for maybe Nagorno-Karabakh. So, however, the Karabakh region, as I mentioned before, is internationally recognized by the territory of Azerbaijan. So Azerbaijan, for this reason, Azerbaijan declared new status of Karabakh in terms of economic region. And the main ambiguity of peace negotiation is the status issue of Karabakh, that both sides try to solve this problem. However, there are many good willings in terms of the peace process. For example, the 5 principles which was declared by the Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Azerbaijan, that was mainly based on demarcation, economic collaboration, and security issue, and recognition of the territory of Azerbaijan by the Armenian side. So from my perspective, I think that the peace will come, but it won't be effortless because of the long-lasted the colonial background of the South Caucasus. Because from the 19th century, the political and historical, geographically, militarily, the conceptualization of the Caucasus was done by the Russian Empire and the Soviet Union. So the Azerbaijan came back to the Karabakh, actually after after the Turkmenistan Treaty Agreement, which was signed in 1828. Also, there was a first Baltic Azerbaijan within 1918 and 1920. It was not how to say a completed nation state as in Georgia and Armenia. So after the Second Karabakh War, Azerbaijan came back to Karabakh after the roughly 2 centuries later. And repair its sovereignty over the region of the Karabakh, actually. I think that if Armenia will agree the peace 5 principles which was offered by Azerbaijan, it will bring benefit and not just for Azerbaijan, for the region, including Armenia. Because Armenia has a deepened subjection, and if the Armenia will sign peace agreement, from my perspective, of course, it's my perspective, it can be debated. Armenia will get a opportunity to break its subjection from including diaspora, Russia, etc. I think that the Nagorno-Karabakh status of Karabakh actually will not come back. It is just already historical issue. The Karabakh economic region, I think it is so practical, is based on practicality, pragmatic principles. So that will be issued in the future. I think this is enough. If there will be any question from the audience, I would like to answer the questions. Thank you.